One dinner. One outburst. One truth said too loud in a room full of people trying to smile. If I could go back and undo it, I honestly don't know if I would. Because some things needed to be said. But not like that. My name's Samantha. I'm 27. I work in graphic design. I live in a studio apartment. And I haven't seen my family since that night. I used to love the holidays. But ever since that Christmas, I feel sick when I see lights or hear carols. Growing up, my mom and I had a fragile relationship. On the outside, we looked close. She posted photos, called me her best friend. But behind the scenes, it was cold. Conditional. She loved me when I fit into her perfect image of a daughter. When I didn't, she froze me out. Last year, she made it clear I wasn't really wanted at Christmas dinner. Just a quiet gathering, she said. No drama this year. I wasn't even on the group text. My aunt told me about it. Still, I showed up. I brought wine, wore the sweater she liked, smiled. But the second I walked in, I felt it. The tension, the fake warmth, the way everyone avoided eye contact. I was there, but not welcome. My mom didn't hug me. Just said, "Oh, you came," like I was the stain on the napkins. I thought I could handle it. Thought I could swallow the cold stares and passive-aggressive questions. Just make it through dinner, then go home. But it didn't go that way. Something inside me snapped. And when it did, I said something I can never take back. I sat at the far end of the table. Not next to my mom. Not even close. It was like they made sure I had no one to talk to. My cousin looked uncomfortable. My aunt tried to make small talk. But the air was thick, like everyone was waiting for me to mess up. Dinner started with a prayer. My mom asked someone else to say it. That was my job every year since I was 12. This year, I guess I didn't qualify. I smiled and kept my hands folded, but inside, something was already cracking. The food looked perfect. As always. My mom makes the best roast in the world. But I couldn't taste anything. Every bite felt like chewing glass. I forced down mashed potatoes while listening to her compliment my brother's promotion. His third in 2 years. Then came the comments. "You still working from home, Sam?" she asked. I nodded. "Must be nice to stay in pajamas all day," she added. People chuckled. I laughed too. Because what else do you do when your mother belittles you in front of the family? A cousin asked if I was still single. Before I could answer, my mom jumped in. She has high standards. Or maybe too many cats. More laughter. I clenched my jaw. Took a sip of wine. Deep breath. Stay calm. Get through it. Smile. I thought about leaving. About grabbing my coat and walking out. But that would have made me the problem. Again. That's what she'd tell everyone. Sam ruined another holiday. So I stayed. Sat there feeling smaller by the second, hoping the night would end quickly. She went on about how proud she was of my brother, of his house, his family, his new SUV. He's really done well for himself, she said. We're just so proud. Then she looked at me, said nothing, just turned back to her plate. I wanted to scream, or cry, or both. But instead, I smiled. I raised my glass and said, "Here's to perfect children." I don't think anyone got it. Or maybe they did and just didn't care. Either way, the fuse was burning. And no one saw it. The tension kept building. Every smile felt sharper. Every word my mom said felt like it had a blade behind it. She started talking about how some people waste their potential. How they could have been successful if they just tried harder. She never said my name. She didn't have to. She told a story about how she worked 2 jobs when we were kids. I didn't have time to feel sorry for myself, she said. Some people today are too sensitive. They think therapy solves everything. Another glance in my direction. Another cut. I felt my cousin's hand brush mine under the table. Just a moment of kindness. It made my throat tighten. I didn't want to cry. Not in front of her. That's what she'd want. Proof I was weak. Emotional. Just like she always said. Then came dessert. My mom made her famous cherry pie. She served everyone, but not me. The pie sat in front of her. She looked around and said, "Oh, I didn't think Sam would want any." No explanation. No smile. Just a blank stare. That was it. Something snapped inside me. The years of silence. The passive jabs. The fake smiles. The Christmases spent pretending. The birthdays she forgot. The way she always made me feel like a disappointment wrapped in glitter. I felt it all rise to my throat like fire. I stood up, quietly. My chair scraped the floor. Everyone looked at me. My mom raised an eyebrow like she was bored. Like this was just another scene I was making. I looked right at her, and I said it. You know what? I didn't come here for pie. I came here hoping, just once, I'd be treated like a daughter and not an embarrassment. The room went silent. Forks froze midair. Someone gasped. My mom's eyes narrowed. I felt the heat in my face, my heart racing. But I wasn't done. I had swallowed years of this, and I couldn't hold it anymore. You don't get to humiliate me every year and call it love, I said. You don't get to pretend this family is perfect when all you do is tear people down behind closed doors. My voice shook, but I didn't stop. I couldn't. Not after everything she'd said. Not after everything I'd swallowed. She blinked. Her face went cold. You're being dramatic, she said. This is not the time. I laughed. Actually laughed. When is the time, Mom? When we're alone so you can deny it later? When no one else hears? The silence was thick. Everyone was frozen. No one dared interrupt. I've spent my whole life trying to be enough for you, I said. But it's never enough. I'm never enough. And maybe I never will be. But at least now everyone knows why I stopped coming home. My hands were trembling. My voice cracked. But I didn't cry. You talk about family like it's sacred, but you use it as a weapon. And I'm done bleeding for it. That was the last thing I said before I turned around, grabbed my coat, and walked out. I didn't look back. I didn't wait for anyone to follow. The cold air hit my face like a slap. I didn't have gloves or a plan. I just kept walking, down the driveway, past the snow-covered bushes, into the street, my breath visible in the dark, matching the pace of my heart. I heard the door open behind me. I thought maybe someone was coming after me. But it wasn't. It was just the wind. No one called my name. No one chased me down. Just silence. Again, the kind I had grown up with. The kind that filled our house like smoke. I got in my car, hands shaking. I sat there, staring at the steering wheel. Lights from the house behind me, glowing red and gold. So warm. So fake. My face was burning. My chest tight. But in a strange way, I felt free. Empty, but free. The next morning, I woke up in my apartment with swollen eyes and a dry throat. My phone had no messages. No missed calls. I stared at the screen like it owed me an explanation, but it stayed blank. Just like the living room where no one said goodbye. I sent a text to my mom. I'm sorry I ruined dinner. I didn't mean to cause a scene. No reply. Hours passed. I sent another. Can we talk? Still nothing. I tried calling. Straight to voicemail. I left a message. My voice cracked halfway through. I tried again the next day. And the next. Nothing. No response. No sign she'd even read the texts. My brother finally answered one of my calls. She's not ready to talk, he said. You really hurt her. I wanted to laugh. Me? Hurt her? After everything? But I didn't argue. I just said, "Tell her I miss her." He didn't say he would. Just hung up. That silence I felt walking out the door, it followed me home. It tucked me in at night. It stood beside me when I poured my coffee. Holidays came and went. I spent New Year's alone. My birthday too. Easter. Mother's Day. Each one a reminder that the woman who brought me into this world now pretended I didn't exist. I sent flowers on her birthday. They were returned. No note. Just rejection. I started to wonder if maybe I was the monster. Maybe I had gone too far. Maybe I should have kept quiet, endured one more dinner, swallowed one more insult. But then I remembered her face, that cold expression, that refusal to even consider I might be hurting too. I wrote her a letter, a real one, with my handwriting. I didn't apologize for everything, just for how I said it. I told her I loved her, that I wanted peace. I dropped it in her mailbox myself. The next day, it was gone, but still, no reply. It's been 14 months since I walked out of that house. 14 months since my mom looked me in the eyes. I've stopped texting, stopped calling, not because I stopped caring, but because I finally understood. She doesn't want to hear from me. I still think about her every day. When I see cherry pie in the store, when I hear Christmas music in November, when someone says something in the exact sarcastic tone she used to use, she's everywhere, just not with me. I still don't regret what I said, only how I said it. I wish I'd found a better way, a calmer way, a softer voice. But when you've been quiet for so long, sometimes the only voice you have left is a scream. People think time heals everything. I don't believe that. Time just covers things in dust. The pain's still there underneath. The ache of missing someone who's still alive but gone from your life. That's a grief no one prepares you for. I've built a new kind of peace, one that doesn't depend on her. I go to therapy. I've made friends who feel like family. I'm working on becoming the version of me that a younger Samantha would have needed. One who doesn't beg for love. One who gives it freely to herself. But sometimes, late at night, I wonder, if she ever replays that dinner, if she ever reads my letter again, if she ever misses me too. I wonder if there's a world where we sit down at the same table without sharp words or broken hearts. So now I'll ask you, because maybe you've been there. If someone you loved told the truth in the wrong way, would you forgive them? Or would you let silence answer for the rest of your life?